Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravos Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at the news, what's going on in our city, in our state, in our country. We take a look at your comments. We find out what you're up to. We try to answer as many questions as we can, and we try to create as many connections as we can for English-speaking locals here in Puerto Vallarta. And for those of you that are planning a trip, a return to Puerto Vallarta, or perhaps your first time visit, there's something for everyone, or at least we try to have something for most people out there. Today is Thursday, February 13. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, or as we call it in Mexico, Friendship Day. So I hope you're keeping this in mind in your plans. Reach out and express your feelings to your friends. Today we have one of those shows in which we have a little bit of news, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I have great news about a show that I'm very excited about, and I have humble appreciation that I want to share with all of you because you are an amazing community, and I need you to know that, and I'll tell you why in a second. Let's get started with today's news, and as always, a capital letter Q will help us find your comments if you have something important to share, and a capital letter N, as in new, will allow us to give you a nice little welcome if you're watching live for the first time. Let's get started with the news. This is not good. Apparently, the conflict between a group of local public school teachers that has not received their salary for a few months is not over. Earlier this week, we announced that the teachers decided to return to the classrooms due to the support that they received from local families, not because the conflict was resolved. What seems unfortunate is that the federal government has failed to respond to their demands yet. We hope that this issue is resolved soon, and I'll keep you posted on this one. Plans to develop several train routes through Mexico are evolving sooner than anticipated, with several announcements made yesterday during the presidential morning press conference. These announcements were made by Andrés Lajou, who is the director of Mexico's Train Travel Regulation Agency. What he revealed is that there are 5 routes already in progress now, or that will begin construction in a matter of months. The first train is going from Lecheria to the Felipe Ángeles International Airport in Mexico City. This is an interurban train because Lecheria is a community that is part of the Mexico City metropolitan area. This first train is 80% ready. The second train will go from the Felipe Ángeles Airport in Mexico City to the city of Pachuca, Hidalgo. And this begins in March. There will be another train from Mexico City to Querétaro, which begins in April. Another train that goes from Saltillo in the state of Tamaulipas to Nuevo Laredo. I'm sorry, Saltillo is in the state of Coahuila, and Nuevo Laredo is in the state of Tamaulipas. This will be a border train that construction begins in July, and then the line between Querétaro and Irapuato begins in July as well. What does this all mean? Well, it means that in years to come, train will be a very excellent way to get around from one place to another through Mexico, keeping in mind that Airline travel tends to be expensive if you're doing domestic flights. And sitting on a bus is not for everyone. On a train, at least you can get up and go from one car to the other and whatnot. I'm excited about trains, and I hope you are as well. And that is the news about train travel. Now, not all is good news as far as transportation is concerned. As the construction of the new highway from Guadalajara to Puerto Vallarta approached its conclusion a few months ago, many residents in Bahia de Banderas were left wondering where the highway exits to connect with the region would be located. To that effect, Nayarit Governor Miguel Ángel Navarro has clarified that there will be no highway exits between Bucerias and Puerto Vallarta, as this was never contemplated in the original project. Of course, Governor Navarro was quick to say, well, this is a decision made by the federal government and it's up to them to maintain the highways. We have free highways and we're happy to take care of those. So, once again, if you're planning on getting quickly from Puerto Vallarta to Bucerias or vice versa, you can take the new highway, you can pay the toll. But if you want to take the new highway to exit at points in between, it is going to be simply impossible. And last in the news block, but not least, Mexico has not discarded the possibility of suing Google for calling the Gulf of Mexico Gulf of America. President Sheinbaum said she was dissatisfied with Google's response to a letter she sent on January 30th to the company's CEO, Sundar Pichai, asking him to correct the area that he now erroneously calls the Gulf of America, since the name change should only apply to U.S. territory. And that's all I have to say about that one. Let us switch over to the weather after taking a short look at this.
For over 60 years, one name has defined style, intrigue, and unforgettable music. From the first notes of Dr. No to the chart-topping theme songs that followed, the James Bond franchise has left a lasting mark on film history. But how did it all begin? And what makes the Bond sound so iconic? Join your host, Paco Ojeda, for Shaken, Not Stirred, iconic James Bond film scores and songs. Thrilling music appreciation presentation uncovering the stories behind 007's legendary sound. As usual, we will meet at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. The date, February 20 at 5 p.m. Tickets available at the hotel's front desk. Advanced purchase recommended. You don't need to be a Bond fan to enjoy this one. But by the end, you just might be.
And it seems like Snarky Weather is talking about me this morning. Snarky Weatherman says, well, the good news is it looks like you've stored up plenty of fat to survive the winter. And I can relate to that assessment. It is 24 degrees out there right now. Our humidity is at 61%. And here's what we can expect for the day. It's going to be a humid day with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, with a high of 28 and a low of 16. Tomorrow, Friday, mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, with a high of 28 and a low of 16. And then Saturday, mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, with a high of 27 and a low of 16. So, weather's good, no complaints. Moving right along, I need to spend a few seconds praising you, all of you as a community, and I'm going to tell you why. Yesterday, we announced that Gary Green, who is the president of the Amapas Neighborhood Association, reached out to us saying we only have 10 tickets left to sell out our fundraising event, Rock the River. Well, you know what happened? You guys did what you do. You guys engaged in positive change and you made it happen. Last night, got a nice note from Gary, and the note says, "Huge thanks for promoting Rock the River this morning. The response was incredible, and all 10 remaining tickets were sold within 15 minutes after your broadcast. We're also grateful for premiering our Road to Safety project. After we wrap up, we'll provide you with a complete, transparent report. Thank you once again. You're the best. We have a board meeting next Wednesday and we'll brainstorm about your great volunteer fair in March." Thank you, Gary. I think I'm okay. I think who's the best here is you guys. You are an amazing community. And this news is exactly what I needed to hear yesterday. Um, Not taking too much attention from the news and directing it to myself. I must say that just like anyone out there, I have good days and I have not so good days. Of course, this is work. So, my intention when I come and do Coffee and Headlines is to give you the best I can give you on any given day. But I will tell you, there are days of a lot of uncertainty. There are days in which I'm wondering, is any of this useful? Are people really interested in the news? Are people really interested in what we bring to the table? And when I hear about the wonderful things you can do as a community to make positive connections happen, I am reminded of how grateful I am to do what I do. These words are very nourishing. I wish I could pay my rent with kind words. So I appreciate the kind words. I definitely appreciate your subscriptions, your coffees, all that good stuff. But I have to say, you as a community are the ones that make it happen with your good deeds, with your positive outlook, with all the good stuff that you bring to the table. So all I can say is thank you for being as awesome as you are, and that's the end of that. Now, I also want to tell you about this show that is coming to Puerto Vallarta, and I am so excited about this. I haven't been this excited in a while. What kind of show could make me excited? Well, it's called Dangerous When Wet. Where is my window? Hold on, hold on. Here it is. Dangerous When Wet, Booze, Sex, and My Mother. This is going to be performed by Jamie Brickhouse, who sent me a lovely letter yesterday saying, "I'm coming to Puerto Vallarta. I'm going to do this one man show, and can you help me promote?" And when I read his credentials, I got all excited, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, Jamie Brickhouse calls himself a writer and a storyteller. And storytelling is big in my book. I love storytelling. Then I started reading about the show, and he describes it as follows: Dangerous When Wet is Jamie's alcoholic odyssey from small town Sissy to louche Manhattanite that's wickedly intoxicating as he hits bottom and discovers he can't escape the all consuming love of his mother, Mama Jean. A Texan, Elizabeth Taylor, with a split personality of Auntie Mame and Mama Rose, she never has a thought she doesn't speak, and unwittingly helps Jamie become an out, proud, gay, HIV positive man in recovery. Darkly comic, it's the theater love child of Davis Sedaris and Elaine Stritch. He's performed to sold out audiences across the United States, in New York, San Miguel de Allende, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, Denver, Minneapolis, Palm Springs, Fire Island, and Edmonton, Canada. Now, why am I so excited about this? Because one of his credentials reads that he was based on Brickhouse's 6-time Moth Story Slam, And I want to tell you about Moth. The Moth is this, I'm not even well versed about the Moth, but the Moth is this competition that takes place among storytellers, and it's just about people going on stage to tell stories. And I think it's an amazing feat to craft a story that is engaging, that keeps people laughing or feeling the feels. And we don't see storytellers in Puerto Vallarta frequently. And of course, I had said to him, I replied to his query and I said to him, of course, I will talk about the show, but I do this thing called the Spotlight, and I would love to sit down and talk to you about storytelling because I believe that Puerto Vallarta has amazing stories to be told, and we don't have enough avenues in Puerto Vallarta for storytelling. So I'm excited that I received a very nice confirmation from the artist. I think he's going to be able to join us for a spotlight right before his opening show or his show opens. And if you're wondering when and how you can get to see this, well, it's quite simple. Dangerous When Wet, Booze, Sex, and My Mother is going to be playing from on Friday, February 21st, Saturday, February 22nd, Thursday, February 27th, and Friday, February 28th at the Art Vallarta Theater, which is in Zona Romantica in Montpilita Street. And this is a small venue. It's a small stage in a small theater. And the tickets are very affordably priced at 450 pesos per person, which is not a lot of money when you compare it with other shows taking place here in Puerto Vallarta. So I'm truly excited about the possibility of seeing a storyteller in town. I'm loving the possibility of sitting down with him, connecting directly, um, and talking about how we can talk about storytelling in Puerto Vallarta. And I'm wondering, how do you, audience, how do you feel about storytelling? Do you have stories to tell? Do you like to hear stories? Could Puerto Vallarta benefit from an event in which we could get together and listen to people's stories and have competitions and whatnot? Let me know how you feel about storytelling in general. I'm excited about this show. I'm going to be there on opening night, and I look forward to bringing back a report on the experience. And of course, yesterday we had a lovely spotlight with Carmen Porras and Miranda Mortimer from Oculto and Monson Brewing, respectively. They came and talked to us about this fundraising that they're doing for Mexpop. It's a local nonprofit that helps find homes for pets here and also abroad. And um, and it was lovely, although we did not have a lot of people watching live, which doesn't surprise me. But I've been wondering if there are ways in which we can get more people to watch the spotlight, because it takes time to produce, and I'm happy to do it. And these uh, interviewees, these guests that we've had, bring a lot to the table. However, it's been kind of difficult to put the spotlight in a place where it's easy to promote. So I'm wondering if we should consider changing the format. And what I mean by that is we would still do it live, or at least we would produce it and record it at the joint. But then I would splice the interviews and bring them into Coffee and Headlines, um, as a fragment of the morning broadcast. I'm wondering if this is something that would be of interest to you that are already committing the morning time to Coffee and Headlines. Do let me know how you feel about this. What's most important to me at the end of the day is that these wonderful people that come and join me in the spotlight to share news that should be important or might be important to you, that they're well appreciated by as many people as possible. So do let me know in your comments how you feel about the possibility of having spotlight interviews as part of the morning Coffee and Headlines. And that's what I have to say about that. And let's see, last but not least, well, Miranda was with us yesterday from Monzon, and she nicely reminded me that Monzon has a trivia event on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Um, it looks like a lot of fun, particularly because you have great food and great beer to enjoy while you're there. So I'm going to leave this event in the show notes. And I think this is all that I have to share with you for today. Let us take a quick look at this before we take a look at your comments.
Are you looking to give back but not sure where to start? Hands-On Vallarta is your chance to meet local nonprofits and find the perfect volunteer opportunity just for you. Join us Saturday, March 22nd from 12 to 3 p.m. at Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. It's free. And if you're an organization looking for volunteers, we'd love to have you. Just scan the QR code to learn more, and let's make a difference together.
And there we go. I see a lot of good mornings, and that always fills me with joy. Thank you very much for all your hellos. Daniel, I will just say that, well, Daniel is back in town. As you know, Daniel is my technology angel here at Coffee and Headlines. He's taking a break from all these wonderful big Golden Globe like events that he produces, or at least produces the live stream for other networks to enjoy. Daniel was with me at the Spotlight yesterday to ensure that our connectivity was perfect. So I'm grateful for your interest in my projects, Daniel, and I'm grateful for the lovely dinner we enjoyed after producing the Spotlight yesterday. Let's see what else we have. Aha, somebody's making Valentine's pastries. I love it. Betsy. Oh, you're back from New Orleans. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I hope you had a great trip. And I look forward to connecting with you sometime in the near future. Let's see what else we have. Na 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 na. Carmen, of course, took a second yesterday to tell us about her Yucatan taste adventure for the 20th of February at Oculto. If you want to try some authentic cocina yucateca or cuisine from Yucatan, this should be a dinner you might be interested in attending. Let's see what else we have. Boom, boom, boom. Logan says, bring on the choo-choo power. And I say, yes, absolutely. Let's see. Well, this is political, but I'm happy to put it up there. I like the new president. She has tact and is not afraid to address things. She's quick to point out facts. That's all I will say. I have to say, Laura, I agree with you. President Sheinbaum is the bomb. She is awesome. Let's see. Ta-da-ta-ta-ta-ta. Ooh, I am totally excited about the storytelling event. A friend and accomplished storyteller has just arrived from Seattle. I will tell him about the event. We'll all try to get there. I would love it if you go on opening night, because then I could meet your storytelling friend, but that's just selfish of my part. But I will share the link where you can get tickets for this presentation, because I think storytelling is awesome. I'm good with watching Spotlight in the morning, having coffee. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. What about the giveaways from yesterday that you were going to give away today? That is correct. Yesterday, we had some giveaways to give away today. We didn't give them away yesterday because we did not have a lot of people watching. I am going to give them away tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, and that's when we are going to do that. David says, maybe a day for Spotlight with the rest being the regular coffee and headlines. I think that's something else we can do. See, the spotlight interviews, I aim for like 20-minute segments, but I could easily have shorter segments for each person. And we can have three interviewees or as many as three interviews per day. And that way we can throw those interviews into the schedule of the morning show. Nothing is set in stone. All that I'm interested in is creating fluid connections whenever possible. But thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it very much. Watching Spotlight with your morning program sounds like a great idea. I kind of like that, Linda. Thank you very much. I actually like that a lot because when you consider there are some days in which there are simply not that much news. There is not that much news to share. So that would make your time put aside for coffee and headlines more worthwhile. So these are just things that I'm considering. I'd love to hear your opinion at any time. And we'll play with the rules until we find something that works best. With that said, I think this is a good time to wrap things up. There's lots of work to be doing to continue organizing the volunteer fair and, of course, preparing for James Bond this coming week, which I'm very excited about. So have a great day. Go and enjoy the wonderful weather we're enjoying right now. And I hope to see you again tomorrow morning for more coffee and headlines. Take care.